So hello guys, welcome back to Techie and आज के इस वीडियो में I'll be showing you our second machine learning project, that is how to predict the probabilities of winner of the match. So as you all know कि T20 चल रहा है, so without wasting much time, let's get started. So as you can see on the screen, I have already uploaded this data set. So the link to the data set is in the description and you can also find this data set on Kaggle. So after uploading the dataset, the first thing that we will be doing is importing the libraries. So I will write import pandas as pd. So next thing जो हम करेंगे is to read our dataset. So I will write df is equal to pd dot read underscore csv and just paste the path of your csv file. तो यहाँ से copy paste and next line में हम लिखेंगे df. So this is our df guys. We have a lot of columns here, as you can see nearly 35 columns है हमारे पास. So you can see some hidden columns here. So I will show you how you can check all of the columns in one go. So all you have to do is you have some options in pandas. So all you have to do is write pd dot options dot display dot max columns. So इसका value you can set like 50 or 100 depending on your column size. So as we have 35, I will set it to 50. And now if I run it, I can see all the hidden columns as well. Cool. So as you see, we have a match ID, date, venue, the team who is batting first, the team who is bowling, the inning, over, ball number, who is the batter, the non-striker, bowler, and we have a lot of you can say a ball by ball information for all of the matches here. So हमें क्या करना है, हम लोग probabilities predict करेंगे for each team, so that we will get to know that which team is having the maximum probability to win. So next thing that we will be doing is to check on the rows and the columns. So I will write df dot shape. So as you can see, it's quite huge data. जैसे we have around 4,25,000 rows. So the next thing that we will be checking is the info. So I will write df dot info. So here, as you can see, info में you can fetch out the column names, you can see the non-null count, and you can also check the data types. Let's check what all columns we have. So I will write df dot columns. So we have a column name unnamed. I think we have match ID, date, venue. We won't be needing some columns like total non-striker runs, batter balls faced, non-striker balls, and so on. So we will be deleting these columns. So as we will be predicting for the second innings, so we don't need the records for the first inning. So all we will do is we will keep only those records जहाँ पे inning number is 2. So I will write df and we'll fetch the inning column is equal to 2 और इसको मास्क कर देंगे. So for mask, you all you have to do is put this in a square bracket and write your df name. So now this is our data frame which has only 2 lakh rows, because now we don't have the first innings ka data. So we will save it in another df. I will write df1. So df1 is nothing but the data for the inning number 2. Cool. So to predict the winner, we will be needing some additional columns like how many wickets are left after each ball, the current run rate, the required run rate. So the first column that we will be adding is the wicket left. So I will add df1 का wickets left is equal to, so to check how many wickets are left, we have a column here. So you can see we have innings wickets, जहाँ पे I can see कितने wickets अब तक हो चुके हैं. So what we will do is to create this wicket left column, we will just subtract it by 10. And so I will have 10 minus df का the column name is innings wicket. So I will just copy it from here. Yeah. So if I check our df1, sorry, here it will be df1. So if I check our df1, we have these columns of wicket left. So as you can see here, there are 7 wickets that have been taken, and so we have 3 wickets that are left. Good. So the next column that we need to add is the current run rate. To calculate current run rate, all we need to do is हमारा current score लेंगे and we will multiply it by 6 so that we get a score for one of the overs, and then we will divide it by the balls that are played. So what we will do is we will write df1 current run rate is equal to df1 का, here we have a column named inning runs. So inning runs क्या देगा हमें, it will give the number of runs for that particular ball. Multiply it by 6, put it into a bracket, और इसे अभी हम divide करेंगे with number of balls that are left. So to fetch out number of balls that are left, all you have to do is 120 minus we have a column here named balls remaining. तो अगर मैं 120 में से df1 का balls remaining column subtract करूँ तो I will get the balls that are played. So let's see the df1. So as you can see, we have got the current run rate. Similarly, we can also create the required run rate. So I will write df1 required run rate is equal to df1 का inning runs into 6, put it into a bracket. Now here we need to divide it from the remaining balls. So we'll write df1 का balls remaining so that we get the required run rate. So if I check df1, so now we have created a column named required run rate. So now we will keep all the required columns. So first I will fetch the names of the columns. So I will write df1 dot columns. To select the columns, all you have to do is write df1, give double square brackets, and then pass the list of the columns that you want to keep. So well, I will copy all these column names and then delete whichever columns we don't need. So we don't need this column. Date, we don't need date. Bat first, bat second. Innings, as we have taken the inning number 2, so we don't need this innings. Over, we don't need over ball number because we already have fetched how many balls are left. We have that column. So batter, non-striker, bowler, batter runs, extra runs, run from ball. Okay, so we will keep innings runs. We have target score, so we, even if you don't keep inning runs, it's fine. So we'll remove inning runs. We don't need inning wickets because we have wickets left. Runs to get is the runs that are left. So we'll keep this column. Balls remaining, we'll keep winner. We have chased successfully as a target column, so we don't need winner. So total batter runs, non-striker players outrun. So these are more few columns that we don't need. So wickets left, current run rate and required run rate. So these are the columns that we need. So I will just sort it out. First we need match ID, venue, bat first, bat second, target score, runs to get, balls remaining. Chase successfully is our target column, so I will just put it in the end. Yeah, and then I will store it in a new df. So df2 is equal to this. एंड अभी अगर हम हमारा df2 देखें तो we have match ID, venue, bat first, bat second, target score, runs to get, remaining balls, wickets that are left, current run rate, required run rate, and if they have chased it successfully or not. So this is our target column. Cool. So जैसा कि आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं कि bat first, bat second, runs to get ये ठीक से इंटरप्रेट नहीं कर रहे हैं. So we will just rename all these columns or just the columns that are not really interpretable. So I will write df2 dot rename, and here I will pass the columns parameter columns, and in columns you have to give a dictionary where you will pass the key and the value pair. So की में आपको ऐड करना है आपका old name, and value में you have to type in the new name. तो bat first को हम करेंगे बैटिंग टीम. Similarly we have bat second, bat second would be our bowling team. Next thing is target score, runs to get. Runs to get को we can rename it as runs left. Rest all are okay. So and if you want you can save it in a new data frame, or you can just write in place equals true, so it will change it in the original data frame. Cool. So the next thing what we have to do is हम जो हमारा match ID है उसे as a index set करेंगे, so that when we will be predicting, so at that time we can fetch that particular match through that particular ID. So I will write df2 dot set index, and यहाँ पे will pass match ID. Yeah, and I will, if you want to see the output, so now as you can see match ID is the index. So I will save it in new df3. So this is our df3. Cool. So I can see infinite values here, so this will throw an error while training a machine learning model, so we need to handle this. तो हम क्या करेंगे, पहले एक बार डिस्क्रिप्शन चेक करेंगे. So I will write df3 dot describe. So what this describe function will do, it will give you a small descriptive statistics of your data, like mean, standard deviation, or the minimum value, the maximum value, the median, and so on. So as we can see, हमारे current run rate and required run rate में we have some infinite values. So also we have some null values. So we need to check where we have these infinite values and nulls as well. So to check that, all we will do is I will write df3 current run rate is equal to. Now you cannot directly pass infinity, so what you have to do is just write float and write in strings inf, so it will fetch all the infinite values, and इसको हम मास्क करेंगे. So put a square bracket and write df3, and now we will get all those values जहाँ पे current run rate is infinite as a value. So where this current run rate is infinite, जहाँ पे हमारा अभी तक फर्स्ट बॉल खेला नहीं गया, करेक्ट. So as we can see here, 120 balls are remaining. So all we can do is we can replace these infinite values with 0. Same is in the case of the required run rate. So we will write df3 का current run rate is equal to df3 का current run rate dot apply. So apply के अंदर as you can see the first parameter it is asking for a function, तो हम एक lambda function पास करेंगे. So I will write lambda, and what it will do is जो भी हमारा value होगा, if it is not equal to infinity तो हम वही value को return करेंगे, and if it is equal to infinity then it will return 0. So I will write lambda x colon, तो रिटर्न करेंगे x if x is not equal to float of infinity else 0. So what this line of code is doing कि अगर आपको एक x मिल रहा है और x आपका if it is not equal to the infinite value तो it will return the value which is there, else वो 0 return कर देगा. So we will do this for required run rate as well. तो यहाँ पे so I will paste it 4 times because we also need to replace the minus infinity value. So if it is there in our data set or not, so it's better to replace it. So यहाँ पे I will add a minus sign, and यहाँ पे I will replace it with required run rate. So I will quickly change the names. Yeah, so as you can see हम current run rate में जहाँ पे infinite values है उसे 0 से replace कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे negative infinite value है वहाँ पे भी 0 से replace कर रहे हैं. Same we are doing with required run rate column. So I will run this cell, and now if we check the description, df3 dot describe. So as you can see we cannot see any of the infinite values here जो हमें यहाँ दिख रहे थे. So we have solved this problem. So next thing is to check for nulls. So I will write df3 dot is nil dot sum. So हमारे nulls भी नहीं है अभी कोई. If you have some nulls then you can check where these nulls are, and then you can replace them depending on the data. You can replace them with 0 or mean, medium, whatever it is suitable. So all you got to do is experiment with the data set. Also I think we have the final data set ready, so we can move ahead to create the model building part. So the first thing that we will be doing is dividing the data set into x and y variables. So x will be our input variable, so I will write x is equal to df3 dot drop. So columns is equal to the name of the column. So chase successfully is our target variable, so I will just drop it. X is equal to 1, and in y we will write df3's target column, that is chase successfully. So these are our x and y's. Now we will split our data set into train and test. So from sklearn dot model selection import train test split So x train comma x test comma y train and y test is equal to train test split will pass x y and will give test size is equal to 20. So now we have our x train, x test, y train and y test. So let's fetch out the names of the columns and separate them in numerical and categorical. So ये हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because it will help us जब हम लोग columns को transform करेंगे. At that time it will help us to segregate the categorical and numerical columns. So I will write numCols is equal to x dot, we have a function named select data types. select d types के अंदर I will write include is equal to number. Now what this will do, I will just copy it, paste it over here, and when I run it, so what this will do, it will just fetch out all that columns जहाँ पे हमारा data type सिर्फ number है. हमें सिर्फ columns names चाहिए, तो I will write dot columns. And as we need to pass a list, so I will convert this array to a list. So I will write to list. So we have the list of the columns जिनका data type number है. So I will just copy it here. Similarly, if I copy paste this and just instead of include, if I write exclude, so it will exclude all the data types which are numerical. तो हमें सारे categorical columns के name मिल जाएंगे. So we'll change this variable name to catcalls. So now we have numerical columns names and categorical column names. So let's create our transformer object. So we will be using column transformer because it is a quite good approach to use when transforming your columns. So we will first import the column transformer. So I will write from sklearn dot compose import column transformer, and we'll create an object named transformer is equal to column transformer, and in this we have a parameter named transformers. तो इसमें हमें क्या करना है, हमें एक लिस्ट पास करना है, और वो लिस्ट में हम एक टपल पास करेंगे which will include our transformers and our column names. So सबसे पहले we'll give it a name, encoder, and after that we will be passing one hot encoder which we need to apply on categorical columns. So first we will import it. So I will write from sklearn dot preprocessing import one hot encoder. तो यहाँ पे हम सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्ट हमारा वन हॉट एनकोडर पास करेंगे, one hot encoder, and in this we have few parameters that we need to pass. So we will write drop is equal to first, so it will basically drop the first category, and then handle unknown is equal to ignore. So basically whenever you have a unknown category that is been added in the data set, so it won't throw any error और ये उसको ignore कर देगा and आपको predictions दे देगा basically. And the third thing that we need to pass here is a list of our categorical column names. तो हमने वो already fetch कर लिया है cat calls, so we'll pass it here. Yeah, so now if you don't want to add any kind of transformation on the remaining columns, so all you can do is you have a parameter name remainder, and यहाँ पे you have to pass the value as pass through. So जो भी remaining columns है उसको हमारा जो transformer object है वो ignore कर देगा and it will pass it through. So let's run it. So the next thing is to create the pipeline where we will be adding our first step, the transformer, which will transform our data set, and the second step will be our model, which will give out the prediction. So as it is kind of a binary classification kind of data set, because we have only two values to classify win or lose, and we need the probability of both of these events. So we will be using logistic regression here. So I will write from sklearn dot linear models import logistic regression. And as we are creating a pipeline, so I will also import pipeline. So I will write from sklearn dot pipeline import pipeline. So I will create an object named model is equal to logistic regression. So currently I am not passing any hyperparameters in this, and we will see KA default values पे क्या result दे रहा है. And the next thing is to create the pipeline. So I will write pipe is equal to pipeline, and यहाँ पे steps में हमें pass करना है एक list which will include the tuples of the steps. So the first tuple would be of transformer. We'll give it a name transformer, and we'll pass our transformer object. And second tuple would be model, which is our model. So these are the steps. पहले transformer हमारे data को transform करेगा, and then हमारा model will give us the probabilities. Cool. So now it's time to train the model. So we have the pipe object. I will write pipe model is equal to pipe dot fit, and we'll pass x train and y train. So our model is trained. So let's check the predictions. I will write preds is equal to pipe model dot predict, and we will pass x test. So our predictions मिल गए हैं. So let's evaluate the model. I will write from sklearn dot metrics import. Now since it is a classification task, we will be importing accuracy score and F1 score. So you can also check the precision recall AUC curve. So I will write score is equal to accuracy score. We will pass preds comma y test, and then we will print score. So I will write accuracy is nothing but our score, and then F1 will be our F1 score. And again we will pass preds comma y test, and we will print F1 and pass F1 score. So as you can see, हमारा accuracy आ रहा है 0.7, that is 70%, and F1 score आ रहा है 0.72, that is 72%. So let's try to improve it, and let's try changing some parameters. So the first hyperparameter that we will be changing is the solver. So if you go on sklearn's logistic regression page, you can see we have a few hyperparameters then you can play with. So as currently the solver is LBFGS, I will change it to liblinear, and we will see. So I will write solver is equal to liblinear. Now there's one more parameter named max iter is equal to 100, जिसका by default value is 100. So as you can see, we have an error here, total number of iteration reached limit. So we can also try to increase this max iter value. So we write max iter is equal to, as it reached its limit in 100, so I will give a value of, let's say, 300, and we will again train the model. So now you can see we didn't get that warning of maximum iterations. So let's predict again on the preds and evaluate the model again. So now, as you can see, we have increased the accuracy, so we are getting like around 80%. So you can try with other hyperparameters as well and tune the model to get at least 85 to 90% of accuracy. So let's see how to fetch the probabilities from our given model. So we have a function named predict proba. So what we'll do is we'll take a pipe model, and in this we have a function named predict probab. Predict proba. All you have to do is you have to pass your X test, and when you run it, you will get an array of all the probabilities for 0 and 1. So as you can see in the data set, here you can see successfully chased is 1 or successfully chased is 0. So here 1 means the batting team has lost the match, and 0 predicts the batting team will be winning the match. So here we are predicting for the batting team. So all we can do is, here we get the probability of 0 and the probability of 1. So we'll multiply it by 100. And put it in a bracket. Now let's fetch the first value. So we are getting two probabilities of 59% and 40%. If I check for another match, so here we get a value of 67% and 32%. So this first probability is a probability of, you can say, the batting team to win the match, and the other probability is the probability of the bowling team to win the match. So we can pass any number here and then we can fetch the probabilities. So let's check this match. It is having 8% probability for the batting team and 91% for the bowling team. So let's check this match. We will go to X test, and this is the fifth match. So we'll go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is this match, Sri Lanka versus Australia. So let's fetch this match ID. We'll go out to our original data frame. So df3.index is equal to this match ID, और इसको हम मास्क कर देंगे. So I'll write df3 square brackets. So we will give double equal to. So this is the match, guys, and यहाँ पे as you can see successfully chased is no. So Sri Lanka lost the match and they failed to chase the score against Australia. So that is what has been predicted by our model as well. So as you can see, it is working quite fine, but आप अगर इसका accuracy और बढ़ाओ and tune some hyperparameters, or maybe try some other algorithms like random forest or boosting algorithms like XGBoost, so it will definitely give you much better result than this. So that was the project, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next video.